Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to the Healthy Mind and Body Radio Show with Michael Harris, PhD. We are committed to helping you create a type of life that is worth living. Our guests are authors, speakers, healers, and industry experts who are living their dream. Join us each Monday and Thursday at 1 p.m. and start living your dream.
Good Monday afternoon and welcome to Blog Talk Radio. I'm Michael Harris and you are on the Healthy Mind and Body Radio Show. If you want to call in, the number is 818-668-5406. I don't have a guest today, so you're just kind of stuck with me today. We are going to be talking about what are the rules. And we've been doing a series on MetaPrograms. MetaPrograms are your beliefs and values, but at a hardwire or almost a hardwired level. These are your beliefs about your beliefs. Do you move away from the consequences? Do you move towards pleasure? Do you chunk your information small and make things more or less insignificant? Do you chunk things all the way up into a global scale? Do you have a tendency to move more towards family or more away from of an individual? So we're going to be talking about rules today. And just to kind of give you a background, if you think about it, everybody's got rules. Rules on how you drive, rules on how you sleep, what time you go to bed, what time you get up, what do you wear, what are you not allowed to wear. You know, I'm sure everybody's aware that, stripes and polka dots may or may not be a good idea, but, I've got almost a 7-year-old, and I just noticed that she no longer wears socks that match, and that's outside of my rule structure, but, hey, it's fashion. So let's talk about what the basic rules are. There are 7 different ways of looking at rules. Number 1 is my rules for me and my rules for you. And that means that you and I are in a relationship. We could be friends, we could be family, we could be colleagues, we could be whatever. And what the rules are is they are exactly the same that they are for you as they are for me. The second way of doing this is my rules for me and no rules for you. That means that I'm going to follow my rules and you're going to do just pretty much whatever you want to do, and I'm going to smile and like it. The third one is no rules for me and my rules for you. And that's a lot of people have a tendency to operate that way if you think about our wonderful, exciting federal government. That is kind of how they operate their world, is they have rules and you had better follow them. Wow, I just got a whole bunch of people showing up on a flash chat. So if you've got a question for me, go ahead and post a question or dial 888-668-5406. It just seems kind of interesting that people that operate where they have rules for you and they don't have any rules for themselves. And that's all well and good, unless they have police forces and military that they can send your direction to make sure that you follow their rules while they're busy not following yours. The fourth one is my rules for me and your rules for you. This is how most people operate. Let's say that you're at the mall and you're following, you're walking down the hallway and you see somebody. You don't have any relationship with that person, so your rules don't necessarily apply to them. They don't know you. The flip side version of this is your rules for me and your rules for you. That means that somebody's going to be more of a submissive position. It might be something that you see in a company where you go to work and they have a corporate culture and you have a series of rules and you sign up that you're going to follow their rules, even though those rules may not be the ones that you chose to take on. You've accepted them. And you will also discover, and this is kind of in like management versus rank and file, back to our federal government, lots of other countries operate your rules for me and no rules for you. And then the last one, we have people, hang on just a second. We got people who have called on. Let me see if they want to ask a question. Hello, you're on the air.
Hello?
Hi.
Hi there. My name is Jack.
Hi, Jack.
Hello? Hold on, I got bad reception over here. Yeah, I did have a question about your mind and body stuff.
Yes, sir.
I live over here in the South, and right now there's a big epidemic of crackheads over here. And I want to tell you that I don't like to admit this, but I am a recovering crackhead. What would you recommend for me to clean my body up?
That's actually not the topic of this show. But if you
what, you're some type of nigger? You kind of nigger? You motherfucking.
Wow. I've never had one of those before. Okay. Hello, caller.
Hello.
Hi. Did you have a question,
Hi.
or were you just listening to the show?
Yeah, I have a question. I have a very serious question. I was wondering if you can actually tell me how magnets work.
How magnets work?
Yeah.
I love that. Actually, no, I cannot, but thanks for calling.
Oh, you're...
That is awesome. I've never had hecklers on my radio show before. Thanks, guys. That was good. Keep calling back. I'll keep hanging up on you. Okay, so we're talking about rules. Okay, so you just heard one of my rules. I have a rule where you have to be polite, and you don't get to say disparaging comments about ethnicities that you obviously don't belong to. Let's talk a little bit more about rules and how they apply to MetaPrograms. Okay, if you think about people and whether it's your rules for me or my rules for you, when you start thinking in terms of possibility and necessity, a lot of people are going to, if they have rules, it's absolutely necessary for them to follow the rules. Okay? If you're a possibility person, there may be situations in which that you don't follow the rules because you have a valid reason, or there is an exception or an extraneous circumstance that is preventing you from following the rules at this time, but you may go back into your normal rule following or following someone else's rules program as soon as this situation is going. There's also a small chunk and a large chunk when you think about rule structure. Okay, if you're small chunking, and I have a family and I have a spousal unit and I have a small child, we have an expectation that everybody is going to follow the rules. Okay, but we don't chunk that up and hold everyone else responsible for being our rules, enforced without some type of agreement. There's also rules in our society of moving toward or away from. So if you have a rule, is that rule in place because it brings more pleasure to your life, or is this a rule that you follow because it prevents some type of pain? Hang on just a second. I got a caller. Hi. Okay. I don't have a caller. I'm going to go ahead and hang up on your caller. Actually, I'm just going to leave you on hold and let you continue to listen. Okay. Then when we're thinking about how rules apply, so how do people like create rules? Most of the time, the rules that people follow are the ones that they grew up with. This was the rule that was in place when you grew up, and you were rewarded if you followed the rules, or you were punished if you didn't follow the rules. But most people have never thought about in terms of, what exactly are my rules? What rules do I have? Is it okay for you to put your hand in my wallet without you talking to me? There's a weird rule in our family. Like, you would absolutely never, ever, open up my mother's purse. If she asked you to go bring her purse, they didn't want you to go rifling through the purse. It was one of those things where you just got the purse, and then you handed it to her, and then she would get whatever it was that she wanted. Oh, let's see. Hold on a second. Hey, caller.
Hello. Hello, my name's Jimmy. I'm from the UK, and I've been listening to your show for quite some time now, and I quite enjoy it. And I just wanted to put it out that you're a total faggot and you're fucking ugly.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing, and you have a nice day.
Go fuck you.
That is absolutely astounding. It must be my day. I'll have to check the astrological alignment of the planet to find out what it was that I did to collect such a interesting bunch of callers. I never get callers, and they certainly have been interesting today. We're going back to the rules, and when you think about rules, what are your rules? How do you want your life to function? Do you want other people to you want them to make rules for you, and then you would happily follow them? Do you want to make your own rules? Have you ever thought about the rules that you have about eating, or where do you work, or what are you capable of doing? If you grew up in a family in which your family rules, your society rules, that everyone in your family was blue collar, is it okay for you to go to college? Do you have a rule that says it's not okay for you to be wealthier than your parents? Do you have a rule that says that you have to be wealthier than your parents? Do you have a series of gender rules in which it is okay for women to dress as men and men to dress as women? And this is not it's not a judgment in any way, shape, or form. I really don't care what people do. It's just, to me, it is interesting how people follow rules. How do they formulate them? And do these rules, the biggest question I've got here is, are the rules that you are currently subscribed to, whether you subscribe to them or not, do they make your life more happy? Do they add joy to your life? Do they make your children happy? Does it allow you to make money? If you have a rule that says, every day at 5:01 p.m. you have to drink a quart of scotch and drink until you pass out, is that really a rule that you want to have? Do you want to have a rule in your life in which that you talk yourself out of stretching yourself, or do you have a rule that that says that, well, nobody in my family's ever jumped out of an airplane with a parachute, therefore I can't do it? And so I'm going to kind of finish up today. It's going to be like a short show, but I want you to think about that. I'm going to go through the rules one more time. It's my rules for me, my rules for you. My rules for me and no rules for you. No rules for me and my rules for you. My rules for me, your rules for you. Your rules for me and your rules for you. No rules for me and no rules for you. Okay, so I just want you to think about it. Think about what your rules are, where they came from, and do you really still want to follow them? I'm not encouraging anybody to break the law. I'm not encouraging you to quit your job or do any of those things. I'm just asking you to think about, what would happen? What would happen if we modified the rules? Perhaps we could take that information and say, if you're a Republican and I'm a Democrat, is the rule? Do we have to not get along? Do we have to put the government into shutdown because you and I differ on basic views? Or is it just one of those things that nobody has ever taken the time to think about whether or not these rules that we currently subscribe to are working? Thanks, everybody. I'm going to be back on Thursday, and we're going to talk some more about MetaPrograms, and you guys have a great day.
Welcome to the Healthy Mind and Body Radio Show with Michael Harris, PhD. We are committed to helping you create a type of life that is worth living. Our guests are authors, speakers, healers, and industry experts who are living their dream. Join us each Monday and Thursday at 1 p.m. and start living your dream.